Well, it's been a while since the last episode. It is really pretty amazing how much time is invested in taking care of a newborn. But, it's also a wonderful blessing, of course. So I'm back, I think. Hopefully, I can get back into a regular schedule, but we'll see how that turns out. So, I think what I want to talk about today is this is something that I've been thinking about as of late. You might be wondering what I could possibly mean by the video title. Isn't Catholicism already Christianity? Well, yes, it is. However, how many Catholics nowadays actually refer to themselves as Christians? At this point in time, if someone, let's say in America, because I wouldn't really know the case as well in other countries, so that someone in America referred to himself as a Christian, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Well, in my case, the first would be that they're a Protestant. That's just what would come to my head immediately if I heard that. But why is that? And so I tried a Google experiment the other day. I typed in, Christian versus, the VS versus like Christian against, not like Bible versus, Christian versus. And the first suggestion that came up was Christian versus Catholic. That popped out to me, but because it wasn't entirely shocking. Granted, Christian versus Baptist, Christian versus Catholic doctrine, and Christian versus Protestant rounded out the top four. So it's not like there was some monopoly of Christian versus Catholic searches throughout. But it does say something that the top search was the one with Catholic on the other end of it. So, this little experiment I did isn't foolproof evidence of the claim I'm trying to make here. But it did help to enforce my suspicion that for some reason, at least in America, when you hear the word Christian or Christianity, being used, we immediately think of members of the Protestant sects. And my issue with this is, since when did Protestants get the right to have an almost exclusive right to that term, to that title? If we look back historically, there are plenty of references in the Bible to the early Christians. That's what they're referred to as. These Christians that are talked about in the Bible are members of the Roman Catholic Church founded by our Lord Jesus Christ in the year of our Lord 33, which he passed down to the apostles and their successors, who are the Pope and the bishops, for the past 2,000 years. So, I mean, obviously, all of the great saints and martyrs in the Bible who are described as Christians are Catholics. Clearly, they're not Protestants because it hadn't existed yet, not for a long while afterwards. How is it that a bunch of revolutionaries decided to separate themselves from the church, 1,500 plus years later, and within a short amount of time have hijacked the title of Christian from Catholics? And, Catholics have been using it for the last 1,500 years before them. So I don't know if this was done intentionally or by design, but it is an interesting discussion that I've rarely ever come across. And yeah, maybe this isn't important and I'm just getting a bit upset over nothing. I'm not really getting upset, I'm just kind of pointing this out. But at the end of the day, you know, Catholic means universal. It is a beautiful word. Don't get me wrong, I love being called a Catholic. I'm proud to call myself one. But it goes beyond semantics. As Catholics, we should know that there is no salvation outside of the Catholic Church. Not, that there is no salvation outside of any church. It's just one. But referring to the one true church. And Catholic teaching is the only teaching that truly takes all of us, or takes all of Christ's teachings, not all of us, and puts them into practice. If I said this among a large group of people, what I'm about to say would ruffle a lot of feathers, but technically Protestants aren't Christians. They turn their backs toward the bride of Christ, his church, the one he founded and the one he promised us that the gates of hell would never prevail against. They turn their backs to her teaching and decided to make their own interpretations of what Christ said. I don't see how someone who refuses to fully follow Christ's teachings and example can really call themselves a follower of Christ, hence a Christian. In that respect, you can't call a Protestant a Christian any more than you can call a Muslim or a Buddhist one. Ultimately, even though Protestants claim they follow Christ and read the Bible, they refuse to follow Christ as he intended. Therefore, not only do I believe that Catholics need to embrace the term Christian for ourselves, but we should take it back, because it does exclusively belong to us. We are the true Christians. We are Christians and we belong to the Roman Catholic Church. At the end of the day, I need to keep repeating this. I don't hate anyone from other religions. I really don't. I'm speaking out bluntly about these issues because I hate the errors of these religions, not the people themselves. I love the people. I want to see them saved. These errors are driving them away from the true path to everlasting life. I genuinely want to see every Protestant, Jew, Muslim, etc. save their souls. Just as how I want to save my soul, I want and hope for many of us to be united with God in heaven. And so that's all I've got for today. God bless to all of you fellow Christians out there, and I'll see you all next time.